I'm just going to put the guitars up and see what they're doing. So we'll start at verse 1. I'm going to push some of these faders up in the other window and see what they do. I can hear the guitar for 1 second and say, okay, I know what it needs because I heard the rough and so it was kind of sexy. So what we'll do is put my guitar plugin on the subgroup and feed those 3 in. I figured out it says guitar left and right, those are low. Guitar middle is the higher octave. So we'll feather that in. I always like this. It's kind of a go-to. I may not go that 80s with the chorusing, but I'll hear the same section again now. I have made a few plugins, and they're kind of cool, and they're really great for this kind of stuff. Exactly. There's a pre-guitar. B-section guitar, okay. So after hearing this, I'm going to glue this together. So let's put my guitar... So after hearing this, I'm going to glue this together. So let's put my guitars across the other guitar buses. The same setting I'm using on the first bus. And we'll sort that out. Let's click 0 across those guitar feeders, except the middle one, the one that says mid. Just going to 0 out my levels because it's a little easier with the keyboard, and I'm only using a mouse pad here, right? I'm mostly using this touchpad. So what else does 2728 get? Let's go to the chorus rhythm. Let me just play that. First, I'm going to do this to get them to sit a little bit better and quiet them down. Put a little bit of compression and gating on it. All right. The old verse tasty. Tasty cake, here we come. Pop that on there. A little bit of this guy. Can't turn the screen. Let's put some Echo Boy mono on each one of them. Let's just start with one, and once I get a setting, we'll copy it to both. So I don't want to add more delay to the whole package, but I wanted to make these guys a little bit more cooler. I used the Echo Boy plugin, which is great for delay. Created my own default preset to start with, which at least gives me a balance. So what I'll do differently here is, it's only a mono track, so single echo. Mix is the same. We're just going to make this quarter note. And let's just play that tasty number one there. Copy that echo boy to both channels. We'll hear that one more time. Just to get a little bit more spin out of those little sustained guitars. A little more atmospheric, because it's like a moody verse. Let's try that one more time. Let's copy that. A little more sustain. I can hear the sustain. Let's just check second verse. Is this verse 1 or verse 2?
This is verse 1. Here's verse 2.
Let's just see if the tasties are going the same route. Great. So let's look at our pre-guitar. I've heard the chorus rhythms. There's one B-section guitar, which probably needs to be clip gained up 6. It's a little bit of a Minnie Mouse. So let's put my guitar plug-in on him. Copy Tim also. That will make him stereo going into. He'll get a double guitar plug-in, won't he?
All the guitars.
We're going to double down on him? We're doubling down on this guy. Right. He's using this, and he's going to another guitar plug-in, right?
Doubly.
Doubly. So we'll play that. And we'll just look at that plug in a second. That's good for that. So what I've done here is I think I've heard all the guitar parts, except maybe, chorus tasty. The old chorus tasty. So let's go to a spot in the song where the guitar part I haven't heard plays.
Here's back half of C2.
Yep. Cool. So let's check the clean guitars. So I got a little balance on the extra parts I'm missing. And so I want to pan them harder left and right so they poke out of the song. There's some guitar cleans I haven't heard yet. We're going to check those little 3 guys. So clean melodies first up, right?
Yep, it's in the intro and bridge. Here's the intro part.
So on this one, we're going to try something different. Put the black hole on them. We're going to put him in deep southern hemisphere with a little weird reverb that right off the bat sounds cool. Let's hear that. He's a little too bright for me. One more time. One more time. And we'll check the other guitar cleans out. So, you know, a little atmosphere, be creative. That's what we're here to make music cool. There's a couple other cleans. We'll check what they do. See if we can do something sexy.
So here's the bridge. That'll be the second instance of your first clean and the third instance of your second clean.
Cool. Let's just bring those guys up, clip gain them up 6. I mean, they look good there, but they sounded low to me, right?
Just fine.
Okay. So the guitar clean melody, let's look at that real quick, because I think in one section it was considerably louder. So back to the waveforms. Guitar clean melody, right? And the bridge considerably lower. Let's reverse the concept on that. Let's clip gain the one to the right, like 9, and clip gain the one to the left, -3. Because the one playing there in the bridge is the leader of the pack. So let's max him to the roof, right? That little harmonic thing is more of an effect, right?
Yeah, that was the intro with the black hole, yep.
So play me that bridge one more time. And bring him down 6 more in that spot. That's not too pokey, is it? Beautiful. Now, while I'm here in this section, this is the bridge, right?
Back to the intro right now. Go to the bridge now if you want.
I heard that. Was that where the tom fills were? The bridge?
The intro had the extra toms that we had added that weren't in the kit.
Right. Is that pattern in the bridge also?
There are toms hitting, but I think it's just one tom doing double hits.
Got it. So I think that these toms that you have, the tom intro ones that do that fill,
yes,
those are non-kit. Those are the fake ones.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Let's do some separate treatment. I mean, you can duplicate the whole thing you have. We'll give them a bus.
Have we just revert?
Yeah, we'll give them a bus and...
they'll get their own bus?
Yeah, we'll give them 3738. Because it's just... You can call the bus, like, intro toms. Intro T. That's why it's in the short version, right? So, you know, when you're unfolding this stuff, you hear, oh, I hear this. Let's deal with that right now. Because it's like, wow, that's not working. And I think we'll make the pans, we'll probably make the pans less extreme. We'll go 50% on the pans, which means if it's out here, it's going to go here because it was like, okay, this is so friggin' separate. And then on that bus, what we'll do is we will put an SSL EQ, an L1, and then old Manny. So I'll do an EQ into a hard limiter, right? And then also into a reverb, just for this moment of the toms. And just hearing them, right? Just hearing the toms as they are, I can go like this. I can stamp it a little bit with this vibe. And we'll probably go down to here. We'll probably go down to here. We'll go into a large hall. This is just what, just starting with something, right? So let's just play those fills there for a second. That's funny with the phaser, man. Why not? Cool, that's good. So let's explain. So what am I doing here? So I find that there's just one tom moment in the beginning of the song that's separate from the live tom. So we separate that off and create something interesting. So we're kind of EQing them. And since they're machiny, they're really kind of like boring sounding. So we drive some EQ into compression and use a little bit of hard limiting to just make it more flatline sounding. And then feed that into a reverb. Now the reverb, I'm just using my own brain saying, oh, what's going to sound cool here? Pick the right decay time, add a little EQ. It's got a little bit of a phaser in it, a little distortion. So we come up with a sound with Manny's reverb to just, hey, make that moment a little bit more special. So we finish with that. We'll close all those windows and we're going to look at some of the keyboard parts here. Now that I've got a little bit of the basis here, we'll look at what they're doing. We'll just put all those faders up to 0 on the keyboards. Well, we have 2 buses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at what we could put on the bus. Let's try using my guitar plugin also on them. We're just going to modify it a bit more. Okay, what the guitar plugin does is it gives you some of the change, some of the EQ, a little compression, and a little bit of reverb and delay. It gives you like a channel strip of everything you'd want. So it actually is like an automatic. It'll take any sound and kind of auto-correct it. So in this scenario, once you start using it across a couple of things, you kind of want to marry a few other things with it. So we're just going to see what it does to the keyboards. It might be over the top. I don't know. Play that spot. Next victim. So play that trip synth part again. That's good. That's good. Let's see what the next victims are.
You got the low synth in that section? See what else those guys do besides be this big droning tugboat. Something tells me that pattern does not change. Those 4 tracks just do that. That bus just does.
Okay, cool. So play one more time and I'll just do a little more tweaking. Let's see what other stuff we haven't heard yet. Cool, bridge synth, let's just check that out. Cool. Since that's a bass thing, why don't we just channel that out? The chorus synths are just doing bass parts, right? Let's just drag it over there. Kind of basically doing what those tracks are doing, but only on one track. How exciting for them. Now what I just did is I wanted to look at my overall and see how hard it was hitting. And since I'm adding more things, I'll be fine-tuning that toward the end, but just seeing, if I pull it down, if it lets it breathe a bit more. So it does. So how it reacts. So now I've went through the keyboards. So what I did is I made sure that like keyboards are going out one bus and all the other keyboards are going another bus. So able to see what they do, and it all makes complete sense, right? And the great thing about it, I was able to maintain the character of those keyboards by just adding my plugin, which just gives it a little bit of a channel strip effect. EQ, compression, a little reverb, and a little delay. And then the marriage between the keyboards and the guitars, they actually seem like they're part of the same band. So that's part of using my plugins. You tend to want to use them on almost everything, right? We're going to check the vocals next and look at that. So we'll take a look first at the backgrounds. We have a lot of faders of backgrounds here, don't we? So we're just going to check what they do in the chorus. So let's look at that. So why don't we do on the bus, let's put my vocal plug-in to 19 and 20. Let's just put it after the EQ, after the SSL. And let's play the backgrounds into that and see what happens. So let's solo them.
The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. I feel myself becoming indestructible when we hit the stage.
We're going to separate that one.
Lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster.
What we'll do here now is, okay, it looks like 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the same. So I'm going to just solo the one pair, right? And see what they say, and probably see if I can EQ those. So we'll keep the chorus going, and let me hear the first bunch.
I get a loop section for you.
You got it. Yeah, we'll just loop that chorus, it'd be great.
When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder.
Oh, they're in tune. So we're just going to top them
The
off.
place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder.
So what we're doing is we're just going to be a little compression to take off the front and a little gating so we're not building up noise.
Drops down and the people move a little faster.
Well, the transient, it's a little sharp on the transient on the attack of the vocal, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the front off. When these guys record vocals and they have a slow attack limiter, the attack of everything starts to build up really hard. So let's copy that EQ setting across the board on all those backgrounds. So we'll option click it across.
Including the B section?
No, not the B section, just those. What are the B section ones? Those vocal Bs? Got it.
I'm looking for myself right now. It's
Yeah.
actually in the bridge.
Yeah, I just want to get that chorus bundle and just make that into like 2 pairs. It might have been that.
Up when we grab the mics, the beat.
Okay, so I'm going to solo the rest of the ones that all do the same here, right? Now, what we'll also do here.
When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little loud.
See how many octaves we have here.
The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat.
So we got 2 octaves, and it looks like 6 highs, right? So you got 6 highs and 2 octaves. That's good. That balance felt good. Let's hear that. It's continuing.
The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. Bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder.
So then what we'll do up here, let's put 1176 up there. I think I have one. Ah, that guy. Let's put him on there, and let's not pummel him so hard. I'll go over here and just make it a little bit less.
Grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster.
And then unsolo those backgrounds. Let's hear them in the track. So let's just put an L1 after my plugin. I'll put the L1 in there to take some of the peak out of it, so it's a little bit smoother. Let's just lower this, right? That's a great start point, so this is hitting too hard. So let's recap the background vocals. Let's look at the approach here. The approach is really simple, right, of what we're doing, the approach, right? I'm trying to take, make them larger than life, make them sound really loud at a very low level. So for me, I want to send them all down a bus, right? And I want to treat them all as a package. So in this package, I like to use 1176s on vocals. So the blue one's my favorite, especially the one I made. So I'm going to use that, okay? Then I have an SSL channel there. I'm not sure if I'm doing anything with that at the moment. No, it's just in the chain because I just put it there to have it. So I have my 1176. That's feeding. The 1176 is feeding my vocal plugin. So then the vocals are pretty compressed going into the plugin. And I'm kind of using the vocal plugin more for reverb, delay, chorusing, more as an effect device as a shaper. Just a little bit of top and the effects. Then after that, because I'm making it kind of peaky for my plugin, I put a limiter on it just very slightly to take any of those points out of there. So when I pull the backgrounds into the track, they feel like they're in your face without jumping out and hitting you. Now I'm going to continue further and see what other backgrounds are going to work in this scenario. Let's take that background vocal. It's a Rogue one right there. Shall we just check the pre-channel ones? See where they play. See if that's sexy. Okay, let's take that little ad-lib part and see if we can shoehorn them back in there.
The bridge or flat SSLs for if that matters.
Oh, okay. Copy my setting to those guys. And then we'll play that one more time. Nice. And then we had that Rogue track. We were moving around trying to find his... Run him through the same thing. Let's see what he sounds like in that package. So we're just going to make this guy a little bit more interesting. On him, let's get rid of the SSL and let's put some distortion on him. Let's go with the Echo Farm distortion. And let's go to our And then for him, also, let's put an L1 after the Echo Farm. Let's make him even smaller. Take him up a little. I want him to take up a little less real estate. One more time. Then also to make him a little bit more exciting, let's put an Echo Boy on here, mono. I'm just going to put a little delay on him also. Crafting a masterpiece. One more time. Cool, that's working. All right, got a vibe on that guy. Close her down. So adding something else, another layer of effect there, so it's not all the same, right? So piecing together the puzzle of vocals, let's see what we're going to do to the main characters in this story. Let's set up our lead vocal bus with, we'll leave the EQ first, we'll do an 1176 second, and we'll do the vocal plugin, and then we'll do the L1. We'll see if this treatment becomes different. So let's play verse 1, right?
I'm not ever like this. I wanna feel your body next to me. My right from wrong is hazy. My eyes are on you till you turn me down.
Let's just try something a little more aggressive. Let's try the devil lock on the channel itself. So what I'm going to try here is this vocal seems like it's probably cut in someone's bedroom with no compression, no vibe, nothing overdriving, as plain Jane as can be. So let me just see if I can use something a little bit hard just to kind of give it a little analog sound. So this plugin's really aggressive, so I only want to use it as a hot, it's almost like sriracha sauce. It's like a hot sauce. So it's really easy to burn your tongue on it. So let's just hear that same stretch.
I'm not ever like this. I wanna feel your body next to me. My right from wrong is hazy. My eyes are on
Let's do the same thing across these vocals. Let's move the double lock. And then do the same thing across his partners in crime. So what we're doing here is, I mean, really, these vocals need to have the most attitude possible. So I'm almost giving him like a guitar amp treatment by this aggressive compressor. So put all those faders at 0, and let's just see what these guys are doing on those his partners in crime. So let's hear top of the song again.
When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. I feel myself becoming indestructible. I'm never like this. I wanna feel your body next to me. My right from wrong is hazy. My eyes are on you till you turn me down. We need to heat it up. Let's blow the roof off of this club. When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mic, drops down faster. I feel myself becoming indestructible. You're leaving when you run your fingers through your hair. I don't know if I like.
Since I'm going through vocals, I want to be able to get a handle on it easier, right? Can we put the vocal subgroups next to each other like they're the channels in the desk? That's the best spot. What's the easiest spot for you to put them?
Where do you want them to the right of all the vocals or left of all the vocals?
Let's put them to the left of all the vocals. So what I'm doing now is that since you have vocals, subgroup, it's like it's a little staggered. And I'm trying to see what the actual inner balance of the record is. So now I can just look at, for me, vocal, double, and then the 2 background settings, right? So play top of the song again.
When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. I feel myself becoming indestructible. I'm never like this. I wanna feel your body next to me. My right from wrong is hazy. My eyes are on you till you turn me down. We need to heat it up. Let's blow the roof off of this club. When we hit the stage, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics, the beat drops down and the people move a little faster. I feel myself becoming indestructible. You're leaving me distracted.
So my question is
The answer, a duplicate?
I think so. Is it because that keeps getting louder,
It's
right?
really loud. Yeah, I
It
think
looks
it's
like a
exact-
duplicate, doesn't it?
Sounds like it by the way things are working so far.
Try flipping the phase on it with the plug-in and see if it's. All right.
Have you frozen, wrapped and tangled? The place
Duplicate. So that's the one that we're looking for home for, right?
No, this is ostensibly a double. That's actually a duplicate, it looks like.
So what about the one we put into the 19 and 20 bucket?
That's the harmony of that line.
So got it. So instead of the harmony, instead of the, why don't you replace the duplicate with the harmony in that same output? Got to fish around for duplicates, right?
bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics, the
So that chorus hook answer, one goes to 17, right? And one goes to 18.
That's what I believe, so I'm confirming.
You could play that same spot again if you want.
Days, those bright lights turn on and the crowd gets a little louder. I will have you frozen, wrapped and tangled. The place heats up when we grab the mics. The beat drops down and the people move.
Right?
I confirmed that, yep.
So let's give it the same treatment so
Take the harmony treatment to the lead.
you know it. When you open up sessions and start getting inside of it, you see what's working and what's not, and you come across duplicates. So you have to reconfigure once in a while. Can we just put this SSL channel before the 76? Even though it's not doing anything, just for the voodoo of it, right? Okay, there you go. So let's explain why I'm using this. Here's what I'm using here, right? With the 1176, obviously input is input, output is output. Input drives the compression, right? Input makes it more compressed. So the attack was 3, the release is 7, okay? And it's fixed at 4-1, at 4-1. This is a setting I've been using since I worked with Dan Hartman back in the day when we were producing Tina Turner, Joe Cocker, and James Brown. Dan Hartman was the one that showed me what an 1176 was. He said, Chris, you got to use that. I'm like, Dan, what's that? I've seen those before. Are they any good? Literally, I said, Dan, I've seen those before. Are they any good? What do you mean they're any good? That's what you got to use. So from that day forward, that became a limiter I used. He showed me that vocal on a Joe Cocker song called Unchain My Heart that he tracked and I was mixing. So what Dan put it on and said, put the 1176 on Joe's vocal. He said that to me. And I said, well, Dan, I've never used that before. So just watch what it does. And when I realized the excitement it added, I said, okay, well, I'm sold on this for life. Hence my collection of a few here. So that's the setting. The input and output is only how much compression versus how much gain output. Usually it's 30-18. If you look at the unit, I have it at 36, a little bit after 18 because I'm getting a little gain into it. 30-18, if it's compressing 7 dB, that means that you're optimum level, okay? If you have to pull the input down this much, it's okay. I wouldn't want to pull it down one click more than that. That means you're hitting it too hard. So then lower what's going into it. So that explains. Anything besides this setting is up to you, but this is what I use. And these analog switches only create noise and hum, which you don't need. Then obviously, this is being used to create character and delay and reverb. And this is there to actually keep it in control so it doesn't run away. And it's not moving that much, right?